Hello, everyone. This is Chill Kong with another edition of MommaKong Says. As you know, I am migrating everything over to a blog, which should launch somewhere at the end of January, so please be patient. In the meantime, please click like and subscribe to this video blog. I would really appreciate it. Many of the MommaKong friends, we have a small but mighty group, and I'd love to see this grow. This will be the last MommaKong Says for the end of 2023. It's been a strange year. So here we go. I started MommaKong Says as a kind of memory capsule. It was around this time, just before Christmas in 2018, when I returned home, actually, sent home packing. But this is for a different story. I spent those first few months acclimating to my old home in my old house alone. I started to learn about the way my parents had been living. That was also the time I learned Mama Kong had signs of very early onset dementia. Memory is a strange thing. We can replay a memory and find small differences within each replay, like your favorite song you've been playing 1,000 times. With each play, you'll find different meanings in the same lyrics you've been listening to for decades. With shifts in meaning, we find different emotions because our memories and the way we remember are essential to how we feel. Those collection of moments are the library that our emotions are based on, which is why the possibilities of memory loss can be so painful. Memory and feelings are interconnected. The reason why Mama Kong repeats her stories, it is her way to connect to all of the feelings that made those memories special. The joy she felt when she saved enough money to purchase her precious food cart, or the sadness she overcame to sell that same cart in order to determine her own fate. How we feel in the present are a culmination of the building blocks of emotions we carefully put together. What is your fondest memory or your worst moment? Each of those markers, those places in your life most remembered, are centered on how you feel. As the year comes to an end, I find myself thinking about things that I had not considered in the last 5 years I had been with Mama Kong. What happens for Mama Kong when I am not around? I spent much of my life away from Mama Kong that it did not occur to me to think about those empty spaces in between. She is alone now. At least when my father was around, she had a partner whom shared the daily moments with her. And now, as I take time to catch up with her day, I find she spends much of it alone. At least once a week, I make sure we go out to some movie or an event. From the exhaustion at the end of each of those outings that I noticed Mama Kong showing, I can see her trying to find her social sea legs. With my father, she did not have to explain herself. With all the new faces, no matter how familiar, Mama Kong seemed tentative. Much of that was my fault. There had been instances of people asking about me through her. Sometimes about dating, sometimes about money, other times about favors. I must admit that some of her responses have been frustrating. I have tried to be patient as she tells me her responses to these inquiries, but I am not always patient. I'm not always kind. I did not intend to make Mama Kong cautious. In having to close myself off, I have somehow closed off Mama Kong. In holding my secrets, Mama Kong has changed. The unexpected adjustments of the people we love can be wonderful when they open doors, unlock these secrets. In protecting myself, I forgot to protect her. In closing my doors, I closed hers. I had asked her to change when that should have been never have been her burden. Instead of adjusting to her needs, instead of prepping the world for Mama Kong, I asked her to shape the world for me. I started singing this song my favorite year, made famous by Michael Feinstein back in my New Virginia days in college. All that time, the song was a regretful look at a relationship that ended the year before. I carried that sadness with me. I pulled it out each time I heard that song, checking out my emotions like a book in the library of time. That regret changed, morphed as I confronted my youthful ideas of love and loss. Now, when I hear that song, the same lyrics take me back to my early days in Lodestone, the theater ensemble based in Los Angeles that I co founded and co led. The song now takes me back to the wonderful years with my dear friends, making theater, telling important stories, sharing love and laughter. Memories of loss have been replaced with memories of light. And now the soundtrack of those days, building Lodestone, is stitched into the fabric of that song. My memories have shifted. The feelings associated with my favorite year I had forgotten had changed. I had forgotten the one constant: change. We all change. As our surroundings change, I have seen profound changes in Mama Kong, but I had stopped caring for her in the context of those changes. I thought I knew what I needed to know about Mama Kong, but her reactions are different now. Her memories are different now. What she needs and how she shares those needs with me now, how she expresses those needs, are different. The more I learn about Mama Kong, the more I realize I needed to update how I want the world to see and interact with her. She's no longer the scared woman struggling to survive in a new country. She's no longer the mother full of worry, barely making ends meet. Mama Kong is version 2.0, maybe more like 10.0. These different versions of her are built on shifted memories, on the undeniable constant of change. She has found new ways to express herself, new understandings of her past, while resiliently maintaining her core self. And just like when your favorite app puts out a new version release, I wanted to put out an updated instruction manual, a revised guide to Mama Kong, just in case one of you bump into her. A revised guide that allows the universe to revolve around her. I hope you take these notes about Mama Kong and see what I see. Know what I know and apply it to the way you interact with her. I hope the idea for an instruction manual for Mama Kong makes you think about your loved ones, how you would like the world to see them, how I try to see Mama Kong in the ever reflection of change, how I'd like her to be remembered, how all of these things are relentlessly connected to how Mama Kong will continue to evolve. I'll begin with a short bio. Mama Kong has been a social media fixture with a unique style and insights on world events, calling out the silly and the stupid alike in equal measure, and reminding everyone that you can never drink too much beer if you are only kissing it. She began her life journey in post war Korea, the oldest daughter of 8 children. She ruled a small suburb in Masan with an iron fist and a smiling charm that kept you smiling despite the bruises. Against her father's wishes, she learned to ride a bike, read, and kept the books for her father's auto body shop until the family begrudgingly gave her away to a poor yet handsome young man desperate for work near the end of President Park's reign in South Korea. Against everyone's counsel, she sold the only thing she had of value, her food cart, and used that money to pay for their wedding. Through difficult times in the early years of their marriage, they managed to raise 3 kids through poverty until a sister-in-law was able to support a long-away trip to a land called America. The United States is where her story truly began. MommaKong's grit pushed her through barriers of language, culture, and misogyny. After 50 years in America, she considers Virginia her home and now spends her retired years entertaining her son and her many fans on social media. A few things to remember when you first approach MommaKong. This is the instruction part of the manual. MommaKong smiling. 1. Look out for her smile. It is joyous and limitless, and it is what makes her genuine and approachable. 2. If she is not smiling, check to see if she is gritting her teeth. This usually means something physical is causing enough pain to take away the shine of her smile. Ask her if she's seen the doctor or dentist recently, and if she hasn't, let me know and I'll make sure she does. 3. If she's not smiling and her lower jaw is shaking while looking up, she's having trouble remembering. Listen to her even if it means hearing the same story multiple times. Just listen. And eventually she will find what she is trying to remember and the shaking will disappear. 4. If she is not smiling and her lower jaw is shaking while she is looking down, she's worried about her son, me. Bring her to me if you can. If you can't, talk to her about me. Hopefully, a good memory. Maybe something that included my singing, but any memory will do. Spending time with someone who knows me tends to calm her down because she did not know many of my friends, at least the ones who knew me before 2018. She wants to know about her wayward son, how I lived. She wants to fill in the empty spaces in the times her wayward son kept away from her. If you can share anything, the good and the bad, it'll help calm her down and the shaking will go away. Okay, 5. When MommaKong asks for something, smiley or not, try to help her with that task or request as soon as possible. She seems patient, but she is not, especially if it's a small task. A glass of water or a drop off to the grocery store, something that she considers simple, easy. 6. MommaKong is a type of extrovert that receives energy from other people, but she prefers sitting in small groups rather than at events like movies or shows, like large events. She spends most of her day as a passive TV watcher, so if she does go out, she'd rather spend it socializing with young friends. It helps her reclaim her younger years, spending time with people who she still sees the possibilities of a future. So, Tell her what you are doing. Tell her about your dreams and listen as she talks about hers, even if they are long past attainable. Now, this is where you add notes. There are so many more details. I could fill an entire book of Mama Kong isms that make up who she is. But if you notice something as you spend time with her, this is where I hope you add to this living guide, this living document, this instruction manual, ever changing. Something that she does that shows you how you should approach her, some minute detail that helps you approach her with the kindness of knowledge. Because that is what this instruction manual is, a helpful shortcut to interact with someone who is connecting her past to the present, a shortcut to help her navigate the curvy lines between those 2 points. Look at the people in your life, those whom you love. Find the details about what they do or what they show when they need something. We often forget to listen with our eyes. They tell you everything they need, even if they don't know themselves. Like the way I know a friend has 3 levels of stresses depending on the number of folds created in between her eyebrows. That is how that friend asks for a kind hug or an ear to share her workday or a reassuring laugh to diffuse the frustration she often has with people who underestimate her. This MommaKong instruction manual is both a guide to how to handle the MommaKong I know now and a kind of memorial to her. Like many of the loved ones in our lives, there will never be a memorial or statue built in their image, frozen with details that make them wonderful. So build one for them, even if only in your mind. Remember to see with your eyes and your heart. Remember to meet each of their tells with everything you know and love about them. If we all look out for the little things that their behavior communicates, if we could listen with our eyes and see with our hearts, we just might find an instruction manual for a world that meets each of your loved ones with a kindness based on understanding. With that, I say goodbye to 2023. It has been a tough year with so many challenges. I look to a brighter 2024. As a newly minted divorcee ready to share more stories about me and Mama Kong, I am so looking forward to seeing each and every one of you next year. Happy New Year. Be kind. I'll see you all soon.